This time it's asking for the axes of symmetry. Now, if you have standard form gives you your vertex, and your axis of symmetry always will go through the x-coordinate of your vertex. So again, I'm going to try to change this one from the general form to the standard form. So I know I need my a value factored out. Minus 3 can still be on the outside. If I take that out perfectly, I get my x squared. Here, if I pull a minus 2 out of a 5, it's like dividing. You're going to get 2.5, but it's going to be much better to write things as fractions. If you're working with fractions, the math is easy. If you work with decimals, the math is going to be harder. So taking a 2 out of a 5 is like dividing by 2. And because it's a plus 5 and I pulled out a negative 2, this will become negative 5 over 2. I leave my space on both sides. Now that minus 5 over 2 is the hint. Dividing by 2 is what always happens. Dividing by 2 is the same as multiplying by a half. Actually find the math easier if I think of multiplying by half. 5 halves multiplied by half gives me negative 5 over 4. And if I multiply this out, I would get plus 25 over 4 here. 25 over 16, sorry. Let's not make that nicer. Space. Plus 25 over 16. Which, if this is distributed, I have actually subtracted 50 over 16. So to compensate, I need to add 50 over 16, which, if I wanted to reduce that, I could add 25 over 8. Now, it may seem that the fractions aren't the nicest, but trust me, if this was a decimal, this would be 2.5. Half of 2.5 is 1.25. How good are you at squaring 1.25 in your head? Not very good. But squaring 25 over 4 to be 25 over 16 isn't bad. So working with fractions is actually a lot easier. Then here, if I want to put these together, I need a common denominator. Maybe I would show this, take an extra step, and change my 3. Forgot the little squared thing there, sorry. Little squared. And adding these together now that they're a common denominator, plus 1/8. Which tells me my axis of symmetry right? From here I know my vertex. My vertex is 5 over 4, comma 1 over 8. So my axis of symmetry will be x equals 5 over 4. So your axis of symmetry always goes through the x-coordinate of your vertex when you deal with fractions. But again, you have to start to remember, you've learned your fraction rules since grade 7 and grade 8. They take a little bit longer, but the rules themselves aren't that bad. Questions for practice on this one? Circle 8 and 10.